Okay, I just picked up a crate of jewels. A crate of jewels. Great. If I wasn't a target for pirates before, I definitely am now. I have a crate of jewels on board my spaceship.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I might pirate you at this rate.
Did I say jewels? I meant tools. Tools is what I meant to say. I'm going to go ahead and relabel this crate.
Yeah, right. All right, welcome everyone to day, I think this is 12 of our No Man's Sky Archaeological Survey. If you're first time joining us, what we're doing is we are systematically scouring the huge galaxy in the video game No Man's Sky and looking for signs of player bases and player activity. So we are over 400 systems surveyed now, and we have not found what we're looking for yet. So this could be it. And as always, Mike, how is your fuel looking?
I'm actually pretty good on fuel. I got 29. I think you
All
gave
right.
me so many. You gave me so many last time, and I used so little of it because I was busy reading logs,
Yeah.
ship logs from the HMS Bounty, that I don't think I got a whole lot of work done.
Well,
So,
that's good because we my antimatter collectors, which I always do off screen, apparently didn't collect anything. So
oh, bummer.
yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Oh man, probably human error.
Yeah,
Is
probably.
everybody, because machines don't make errors, human make errors.
I might have needed
Human.
to save actually between as well. That might.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
hopefully next time,
Yeah.
because we'll really need it next time.
Why is that? Are we going? Are we going where no man or woman or being has gone before?
Well, more like I probably won't have enough fuel next time.
Well, that's not as dramatic.
No, that's not very poetic, is it?
No. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna and Bijai. Oh wait a minute. What am I doing? I don't know where I just typed. I'm typing in our log. I claim and Bij 6. That is, I am claiming that one. Wow, you did a lot, and I did so little last time. How embarrassing. Good thing we're not keeping track of that.
Right, for science.
Yeah. Well, this should be exciting. This is it's like another double shift. We did the Archaeology arcade
Yeah.
earlier, and now we're back on just a few hours later with a meeting or two in between, because that's how things go now.
Yeah, I've been actually pleasantly surprised with the game we were playing this morning.
Yeah, that's fun.
Nancy Drew. It's actually, I was a little leery because it's an older puzzle-based game, basically, and it's actually turned out to be really good for our purposes, as well as actually pretty decent on the archaeology. Gives us a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we hadn't really had to do many puzzles up until
No. Well, the
today.
puzzles in this context are like just anything. I mean, we had to figure out where the keys were. You know, that's kind of the puzzles we'd had, but we had straight up quizzes this time.
Yeah, good thing we had an expert with us.
Yeah, who'd written
That
all
knew-
this
that-
down beforehand.
Who knew everything.
Yeah.
Couldn't do without Rachel, that's for
No.
sure.
Not
Not that game anyway. Other games we can kind of fumble through, you know.
right. This one would have taken us a lot longer.
Yeah, for sure. All right, look at me already scanning.
I would
Being
be, but I've got
productive.
pirates.
Oh yeah, I had a couple of those too, but I might not have fancy pulse guns like you do, but my flying abilities more than make up for
You
that.
probably can hit them when I usually can't seem to.
Maybe because of you're on PC and I'm on the Xbox, and that just goes to show people that the Xbox is superior.
That is clearly the message.
Just start some controversy to start this out with.
Right,
today.
right. We have to have a pretend fight over this, right?
Yeah, yeah. Pretend. Insult me.
Hey, Barbara.
All right. Is Barbara on? All right.
Yep.
Barbara, yay.
We've begun the console wars already, so we're good.
Yeah. Looks like we got a couple people on. I don't know if we have a theory that some of these are just bots, but even if you are a bot and you have any questions, just let us know about, history or archaeology or anything.
Yep.
Really.
We'll talk to anyone, even a bot.
Even a bot. Actually, I prefer a bot.
Probably don't talk back as much.
They just don't. Yeah, they don't. They don't tell me I'm wrong. Which is how I like my friendships. People who just agree. People who just agree.
That's why we got into public archaeology for.
Oh, what's this?
Turn the
Hello.
mic down a little bit.
Oh, this person is. Oh, whoa! What's this? I do not. This is an alien. Life says. I do not know exactly who this pilot is. A traitor, a historian, a grave robber. Either way, they appear to be peddling trinkets. Wow, it's interesting that, I just mentioned.
At least they didn't say archaeologist, because if they're peddling trinkets, they are not an archaeologist.
Well, I can actually bargain for a relic. I'm going to do it for 300 gold. We'll see what he says. I accept the trader's offer. I'm sure I will find a use for this relic, or it will find a use for me. Okay, I just picked up a crate of anomalous jewel. A crate of jewels. Great. If I wasn't a target for pirates before, I definitely am now. I have a crate of jewels on board my spaceship.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I might pirate you at this rate.
Did I say jewels? I meant tools. Tools is what I meant to say. I'm going to go ahead and relabel this crate.
Yeah, right.
To say tools. It's speaking of crates and treasure. So I don't know I think you know this story, but I'm telling it anyways. A number of years ago, there was a shipwreck site. Well, it's still there, off of in Pensacola, in the Gulf. I believe it's in the Sound side. So it's right off the shore, it's a few hundred meters actually, just offshore of Gulf Islands National Seashore in the Fort Pickens area. And they discovered a Spanish shipwreck that was made almost entirely out of mahogany, which is a type of wood that they commonly used in shipbuilding in the late 1600s, early 1700s, because it was really abundant in Mexico, where this particular vessel was constructed in the New World. But it was also, mahogany is really resistant to like rot, so it makes it good for
everything. Isn't it really dense?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's very dense wood, very red color, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, archaeologists located this site, and they did a number of years excavations on it, and they determined that it was a Spanish vessel that sank in 1705, and it's got a really long Spanish name like Nuestra, blah, blah, like very long. But for short, they just call it Rosario.
Oh,
anyways, when they were excavating this wreck, they came across this wooden box. Like a fairly sizable wooden box.
I love this box.
And so, of course, a lot of excitement, like, oh, man, what might be inside? Like something's inside this box. Because it was sealed. It had not been opened. It had not been broken apart. So, of course, they didn't just bring it up to surface and then start taking a pry bar to it because that could damage it. So instead what they did is they brought it up and they took it to the lab, or actually, I think at the time they had to take it to. I don't know. I can't remember if they had an X-ray at the lab at the time or not. If they were still borrowing equipment.
Like they might have.
They may have at this point. I know for a number of years they had to go to the hospital. And
yeah.
The hospital would donate their time.
It
wasn't
too much later that we used it for something else when Janine did the Civil War site. So,
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
But so, anyways, they X-rayed it, and people are of course thinking, "Oh, Spanish shipwreck. It's gonna be a box of jewels, a crate of jewels, or something." And then on the inside, they found it was full of fasteners, iron fasteners. So what they think was it was actually the carpenter's uh, chest or crate full of hardware to repair the ship when it was damaged. So it was literally a chest of or a crate of tools
Yeah.
instead of jewels. So, anyways, made me think of that.
Was it? I thought it was nails mostly. Is that right?
Yeah, I
Or is that
said
what you mean by
fasteners.
fasteners?
Fasteners, yeah, nails. I think the I'm not sure what the technical difference is, but and I know in a lot of marine archaeology, underwater archaeology, they often use the term fasteners because there was basically big nails. They were very large iron
Right.
hand wrought nails that were used in ship construction, and they call them fasteners because these were used to fasten different parts of the wooden ship components together. Is my understanding.
Cool. Yeah, nails probably has some specific definitions, and they want to be more broad than that. That's how those things usually go.
Yeah.
That's why we use debitage instead of flakes normally, and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And debitage is the scrap, the leftover stuff
It's the flakes. It's basically when you make a stone tool, it's the stuff you knock off to make the tool. But flake has, I don't remember exactly right now, maybe Barbara knows, but some more specific meaning, whereas debitage is more general. So certain things are flakes, but not everything we might call a flake when we pick it up is necessarily a flake.
Gotcha. Speaking of flakes, we had for our zoom into archaeology.
What are you saying, Mike?
You're
Careful.
flaky. You're very. Actually, no, it's Barbara. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Barbara's awesome. She's not flaky at all. Where was I going with that?
I don't know.
No, I was saying. Speaking of flakes, we had a speaker for our Zoom into Archaeology series, which is pretty much every Thursday, 3:30 Central Time, and it was a really interesting talk. And it had to do with, I guess, a couple years ago in 2018, a Florida wildlife officer was out scalloping in Appalachia Bay, which is just south of Tallahassee, and he was just in a couple meters of water. And scallops are like these shellfish, basically, that you can collect. There's a limit on how many you can collect, but and then in certain seasons when you can and can't go out and collect them in the water. But they often live in seagrass beds, and so he was out there scalloping legally, and he came across these chert stones, just like all these chert stones, just like scattered all around, which is kind of unusual. Actually really unusual. And so he contacted some archaeologists, and anyways, our speaker was Dr. Morgan Smith, who works for the University of Tennessee now, and they called them out there, and they determined that it was either a Paleo Indian, so you're talking 10,000 years ago, or possibly maybe as early as 3,000 years ago, quarry site for chert.
Could have been both, even. Those things sometimes were active for a while.
Yeah, true, yeah. So, yeah, real interesting. So it's like one of the only inundated quarry sites in, I believe, in Florida that they are saying is that old.
We don't have a lot of... it probably depends on where you're at, but natural chert is harder to find in Florida than other states. In large amounts, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can find...
Anyways.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a real good talk. Very interesting site.
Yeah, we've been doing one of those pretty much every Thursday since self-quarantining started. And you can find past episodes on our YouTube channel. We always got different archaeologists come in and talk about their work or different aspects of archaeology. Mike and I have each done a couple talks, and bunch of folks have, bunch of FPen folks, and now we're kind of branching out to outside of FPen.
Yeah, I did one on the use of drones in archaeology.
And I did one on poop, which was actually a lot of fun to do.
Let's do a poll.
Yeah.
Who is more interested in ancient poop or drones? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna guess poop.
Honestly, it could be.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
it might depend on the age of the audience too.
That's true.
I'm actually excited. I got scheduled. So I've been signed up for Skype a Scientist for a while. For those who don't know.
Oh, nice.
Skype a Scientist is where, basically, how do you define it? It's an organization that sets up schools.
Remember Skype people? Like going.
yeah. It used to be a thing. It sets
Talk
up.
about drop the ball.
Sorry, I got distracted. Things going on. But it sets up classrooms and teachers with scientists to talk about their specialty and stuff. And I've been signed up for a while, and finally I got 2 follow-up emails this week. So I'm slated to do one next week, just a regular Q&A. But then actually in January, I get to give my Tales That Turds Tell talk to a group of junior high students, and that should be a blast.
Oh, man. That could go horribly well. I mean, surprisingly well.
It's supposed to be 9 or 10,
wrong.
so I think it should probably be fine. But if it was like a whole auditorium worth, I don't know how that would go, especially online. If I was in person, it might be easier, but online makes that harder.
It does. Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Wish I could do these things in person right now, but I guess I couldn't talk to kids in Kentucky either way in person, so
that's true.
At least I get a little bit of interaction.
I've been neglecting the chat. I see Barbara's actually said a couple of things. She said that you get to get all the Skype gigs.
So far, it seems she's been on waiting for a while as well, and I'm the first one to get any. And then I got 2.
Yeah, she said she's jealous. Don't be, Barbara.
No, be jealous. It helps my ego.
I mean, Zoom into archaeology is so much better.
It's more exclusive. Fewer people do it.
That's true. All right, I'm back in the system, and I'm trying to keep up with.
You're in system.
I think you also. Tristan.
Well, I entered mine first.
No, look up.
No.
Look up.
Why didn't that pop up?
I don't know. That seems like a serious flaw in your.
Well, you'll be glad to know you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't
How
tell me it was
horrible?
done.
How horrible would it be if it turned up that like there's 2 or 3 planets with stuff on it and I totally missed it?
Or that you were just showing up and then sitting in system for a while and then leaving, not actually scanning anything.
Oh, are we not supposed to do that?
No,
I'm just kidding. I try to scan all the things.
I know.
All the things all the time. Yeah, Skype a Scientist. I've never signed up for it because, I'm I don't know if I qualify. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think,
Probably not.
I think you could do it fine. You know enough about archaeology and various things. But on the other hand, I guess you're technically not trained in it either, which might be what they want. I don't know.
Right, yeah. I could just lie.
There might be a category for history. We'd have to look. It is a social science, just like archaeology.
I mean...
Barbara says you're not cool enough. Man.
I bet you know what I am cool enough for? Zoom into archaeology, because Zoom is so much better. I'm sorry, it's just true.
Just true.
The market has spoken. Actually, I still use Zoom every once in a while. Both are good. Please don't sue me.
I don't think that's actionable. I think you're okay.
I don't think so either. And plus, I think technically they'd have to sue the university. So
Right. And then
I
the
should-
university would have to fire you.
yeah, basically. I mean, the university does use Zoom officially now. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll give us a discount. This is in no way a plug for Zoom or a commercial. Sponsored. This episode of No Man's Sky Survey is sponsored by
No.
Insert
Could
your
could be sponsored by Zoom. So if
sponsored-
Zoom, if you want to be sponsored, give us some money.
Yeah.
That's how you
Or
do it, I
Skype.
think, right?
Or
Yeah,
Skype
yeah.
if you wanna. Or what's another one? Meetups. Google Meetups. That's another one that doesn't work. That I guess for whatever reason it didn't really
I haven't really
catch
messed
on
with it.
catch on like Zoom. Isn't that kind of interesting? That
Yeah, I don't know why Zoom caught on like it did.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Because Skype has been around forever. Or not forever, but like 10 years. They've been around a long time.
Everybody knew what it was.
Oh, Barbara says we should have invested in Zoom.
Yeah. Isn't that always the case?
Yeah, I know. What could have been?
Could have had my hundreds.
Well, I mean, we can still make it, man. All right, traveling back. Oh, did you know yesterday? I think yesterday was the 30-something anniversary of Back to the Future. I think.
No, I didn't.
I
I feel
think
like I
that's
should
right.
watch it now.
Wait, does that? No, that can't be right. Maybe 40.
No, that
What?
was the anniversary
is
of
it?
Back to the Future was a while ago, like a few
Was
years
it?
ago, because they released
Oh, okay.
the Calvin Klein shoe or something like that.
Maybe
And
I'm
that was a
thinking
big deal.
I'm thinking Back to the Future 2.
That could be.
That came out in 1989. So yes, that would make sense. Because it's no, that doesn't make sense because it's 2020.
Right.
Although I'm sure we all would like to forget. It's-
Can we just rewind and try
Okay.
this again?
So, Back to the Future 3 came out in 1990. So it was Back to the Future 3 is now 30 years old.
Okay.
And not a bad one either.
I have never actually been able to get through Back to the Future 2. I didn't resonate with me, and then I never really went beyond it. So it's been on my list of something I should probably check out for a while now.
Yeah. I mean, they're all on different streaming services.
I imagine so, yeah. Looks like we
Right.
finished this radio. I'm going to move us to our next one.
Oh, did we really?
Yep.
Look at that. Wait, where did we start from? Oh, you know what? Okay, I think I may have done something I shouldn't have done.
Did you start from a
30.
different radio?
That's okay. No, on just one. I'm just going to delete it. Okay. It's all good. Don't worry. It was just one. I started at I jumped. It was too far. It was outside the 50 light year, so it's okay. Nothing to worry about.
All our data is messed with now.
Just that one entry, but now it's fixed. So it never happened. It wasn't written down, so therefore, according to historians, it
Didn't
never
happen.
happened.
Right.
Never happened. Not reliable. Which is not true. Oral histories are actually quite valuable.
Yep. Have their own biases like the other histories,
Oh.
but
Barbara says that she feels old now because of the Back to the Future.
yeah, way to go, Mike.
Sorry, but I know the feeling. I know. It's like every time I see Harrison Ford or like one of the actors that were in their 30s or 40s when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I looked up to, and now I see them and they're like in their 70s and 80s, and I'm like, oh wow.
Or it's worse where it's a child actor and they're like in their 40s.
Yeah, yeah, like Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, weird. I mean, I am almost 42, getting there. But I feel like I don't feel like it at all.
I do.
Maybe after this year we will. Definitely after children, I felt much older. Much older. That's all right. All right.
Okay, I'm in our new system. I'm dropping a base for us.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
It has weird floating cubes from my grandmother's living room. It looks like they're out of the
What?
70s. It looks like they're out of the 70s
Oh.
or 60s maybe.
Yeah? All right, let me see if I can find where you're. Where did you go? Where are your nuclear vessels? All right, galactic core. Where did you go? Oh, I see ya. Jump range, out of jump range. That's not. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I went to the wrong one. That's all right. That's all right. It'll cost me a little fuel, but.
Okay. You'll be sad to know I don't see any animals.
That's disappointing.
Nope, never mind, I do. It is a floating pillar.
Floating pillar, huh?
Has a jet. You might want to ride it.
Oh man. Hold your position.
I don't see an option to feed it. I don't know where the mouth would be anyway.
Uh, all right, I am working my way towards you.
So Barbara says there is a online exhibit for the Riley House Museum that's here in Tallahassee, and they are doing a new exhibit on what was it? Oral histories. And it's actually launching tomorrow, the virtual version of it. So if you
Cool.
want to check that out, follow us on our Facebook page. We'll get it posted on there so people can find it and are aware that it's going on.
Cool. So it's an exhibit about just oral histories?
That's she put a link in there. I'm not going to click on it right now, but that
Okay.
seems to be the implication, yeah.
All right, I'll check it out as soon as I get to the destination. Because I'm not where I should be. Not where I should be at all. Oh, wait a minute. There you are. There you are. I'll be there in just a second, though.
Just doing some
What's-
paperwork here.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I'll click on that link. Legacy and Learning exhibit. That's cool. So it says, I'm just reading the article from the Tallahassee Democrat. It says,
Okay.
the senior citizens from the community. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they visited students at John G. Wright Elementary School to share what life was like for them growing up in Tallahassee. These seniors and others from the community shared challenging aspects of their lives during the early to mid 1900s, a time without many of the technological advances young people enjoy today. From these oral histories, the exhibit was created. Cool. Oh, it says as part of the exhibit, seniors convey how simple tasks like ironing a shirt or a skirt, making a phone call, or washing clothes used to require great effort, and how such struggle and difficulty can give birth to innovation. Through
Okay.
intergenerational engagement, the students gained a greater understanding and appreciation of the historical and cultural tradition that typified the world of the seniors during their youth. I wonder, like, I guess, yeah, I have seen those old timey irons, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just, not hooked. I guess, did they, my assumption is that they must have had to, like, heat them up on the stove or something,
That was my understanding as well. Yeah.
but I'm not sure if that's, I mean, I don't know how else how they would have done it. Put it in a fire? I don't know.
You probably have a cast iron stove and heat it on the burner.
I know who would know, and I'm right. Barbara says, yeah, you had to warm them up on the stove.
Yep. Good thing we've got Barbara.
I know. All right. She said that her great aunt used to use one. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen them. Seen them before, but I've never used one. I mean, I've used an iron, although I don't use them as much as I probably should, especially
Yeah.
these days. I'm gonna get the first system. Oh wait, I guess technically you already did.
Yeah. 'Cause I did the radio. Haha.
Ah, man, got me. That's all right. What can you do?
Yep. So, did you see any good archaeology news this week?
Trying to think if I did or not. Oh, you know what? There was one from last week that was really cool about the footprints that they found that are. I'll have to find the article. There was I guess these two sets of footprints that are like thousands of years old, and I was in some sand dunes out, I think in New Mexico, at one of the national parks out there, and I guess they had been preserved. And basically, the researchers were able to identify that one set of the footprint, and they were both together, like so they were walking together. I guess at the time it was like a
Hmm.
flats or something, and so it said it was a woman and a child, and they could actually tell like when the child would get tired, and the mother or the caretaker, who was a female, had to lift the child up, because I guess when she lifted the child up, there would be uh, because of the weight of the child, she would have to walk a little bit differently. And they could also tell based on the footprints that they documented when she would actually shift his weight to the other side when she would get tired and then put him back down. So it was a really cool study. Um, and they also found not only her footprints and the child's, but also like ice age animals that also like walked by using the same path.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they could tell like when the animals would stop and like maybe sniff around because maybe they had caught the scent of these two people. But then the other thing that was really interesting is that I guess there was a set of there was a set of footprints going to the destination, and then there was uh, just the woman coming back. So it's like she took the child somewhere, dropped the child off, and then came back
Cool.
without the child. So yeah, really, really cool. Let me see if I can find that
And
article. I wish.
Barbara added that the kid's prints only went one way. It's
Yeah,
also
yeah. Okay, so I got that right. Good. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, popular mechanics. Is this the one? I think it was in New Mexico. Yeah, researchers in New Mexico studying fossilized footprints say they have the longest preserved single path ever found, with 400 identified steps over almost a mile. The scientists have enough information to study the journey and put it in context. Says a young person, this is from Popular Mechanics, a young person carrying a toddler on one hip. Yeah, just like I said. Actually, let me go find the paper and
Barbara said
There's
she posted a link.
Oh, she did? Okay, cool. Yes, it's the article is the actual the original article by the researchers was published, or I guess maybe it hasn't been technically because it says December 2020, so I guess it hasn't been published just yet. But it's called "Walking in Mud: Remarkable Pleistocene Human Trackways from White Sands National Park," which is of course located in New Mexico. And I've got the abstract I can read. Maybe I'll just read that just to make sure I didn't get anything totally wrong. It says human tracks at White Sands National Park record more than 1.5 kilometers of an out and return journey and form the longest late Pleistocene age double human trackway in the world. An adolescent or small adult female made 2 trips separated by at least several hours, carrying a young child in at least one direction, despite giant ground sloth and Columbian mammoth transecting them between the outbound and return journeys. The human tracks show no changes indicative of predator-prey awareness. So there's probably, they came after she had already left the area. In contrast, the giant ground sloth tracks show behavior consistent with human predator awareness, while mammoth tracks show no such apparent concern. Because I guess based on the footprints from another article I read, they think that the ground sloth was kind of walking along the same path and then stopped and then stood up on its hind legs to possibly like sniff the air to catch a scent or something. Or maybe it was just trying to like look and get a better view of the horizon, because I'm sure they had to worry about predators too, like, saber-toothed cats or smilodons sometimes, which I think they're actually called smilodons. It says the human footprints are morphologically variable and exhibit left-right asymmetry, which might be due to childcare. So that's when she was like, probably getting tired and switching the child from one hip to the other hip, which I can totally empathize with, because I do that all the time with my kids. Your arm gets tired, your leg gets tired, so you switch them on the other side so you can keep carrying them. And then when finally you're like, okay, it's time for you've had enough rest, kid. It's time for you to walk a little bit on your own because you're getting tired. So, been there. Yeah, such a cool article.
That is very neat. One of those rare cases where we can glean a lot of a story from just a little bit.
But I know what your biggest question is, Tristan.
Do you? Because I'm not sure I do. What is it?
Did the child have to poop on the journey?
No, that was not on not my question at all.
I mean, you're the poop guy now. So.
I am now, huh?
I am deeming you the expert, the FPAN expert on coprolites.
I've been dubbed
coprolites. Is it coprolites or corpolites?
Coprolites.
Both coprolites. Okay.
I've been dubbed the doo-doo dude.
Yeah. When you think of feces, think of Tristan. I love that movie, Coming to America. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh my man, you have to take like a week and just watch all these movies. Coming to America is one of the I would dare say top 5 funniest movies ever made. And it's starring Arsenio Hall and the great comedian Eddie Murphy. And it's a story. It's so ridiculous. It's a story about this African prince, and I can't remember where. It might even be a fictional country in the movie, but he's like royalty, and he lives in this like amazing like mansion, and just has everything, super rich. And he finds out that he's gonna have to be forced to have an arranged marriage, and he's like a very he's like a very I don't want to say emotional, but he doesn't want to do that.
Right.
Even though like his bride that's been selected is like this very beautiful woman, but he wants to get married out of true love, and so he decides that he's going to go to America to see if he can find his true love. And Arsenio Hall is kind of like his. I don't think he's really his servant, but I guess he's kind of his like servant friend, but also a friend. And so they decide that they're going to go to Queens, New York, because it's called Queens. And of course, if you want a queen, you go to Queens, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, they go there, but he doesn't want his a potential love interest to think that to just marry him because he's a prince and he's rich. He wants them to marry him because fall in love with him because of him, because of who he is. And so he goes in disguise as this like poor immigrant, and he starts to work at this like fast food restaurant, and he just like a minimum wage job. And anyways, so there's this scene. I know this is like a really long explanation, but there's one of my favorite scenes from this movie is he sees the owner's daughter is he really like starts to fall in love with her. She's like super nice, and he's trying to impress the father. So he he sees her like in the office, and he's mopping the floor, and then he's trying to strike up a conversation with her. So he's just like, do you need your garbage taken out? And she's like, oh no, I'm good. And he goes, when you think of garbage, think of Hakeem.
Okay.
So when you think of poop, think of Tristan. That's where I got that from. It's the greatest. I can't believe you haven't seen that movie. It is one of the.
I think I've seen pieces of it, but I haven't actually sat through the whole thing. Kind of one of those where, it's on cable TV, but it's in the middle of the show.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get a chance to watch Coming to America,
I will add it to my list.
It is a classic, and I think it's one of the funniest comedies in movie history, in my opinion. But I also really like Eddie Murphy, so.
Yeah. There. Take that, pirates.
Yeah, I had to deal with a couple of them too.
Now, there's one planet I didn't get scanned, and now I've lost which one that is.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem because same thing. Pirate distracted me, and I'm trying to find out where it was at. Okay, I did that one. Where did it go? Well, that's cool about so that's the article. How about you? Have you read any good archaeology articles in the news?
I did some looking this morning, and not a ton popped out at me, although you'll laugh that one of them that did pop out, I didn't get a chance to look at it too carefully, was about excavating ancient privies. So,
oh, nice.
Convenient now that I'm the poop guy that caught my attention.
Is it convenient, Tristan, or is there truth to what I'm claiming?
A little column A, a little column B.
I think it's because it's true.
But it was about basically figuring out the bacteria colonies in different cultures and different time periods and stuff.
And privies were outhouses.
Yes.
These are like where people went to the restroom before there was indoor plumbing. My understanding is they just like dug a hole and put some sort of shelter over the hole and did their business there.
Depending on the time period, the shelter is optional too, I think.
I mean, you would know.
Right? I would know.
As the expert, as our resident poop expert. You think of poop.
But actually, one of them that I liked, that it's not like it's a big deal, but it's not like a huge new discovery, but they found a new Nazca line shape.
Oh, cool.
And it is the shape of a cat.
What?
And so I like the fact that people have been sharing pictures of their cats for 2,000 plus years.
That's
but
awesome.
It's in a hill apparently, and they said it was because the hill was doing some erosion, it was almost invisible. They almost couldn't find it.
Wow.
But now that they found it and they've studied it, and it's a cat. It's obviously a cat. So kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, I recommend it. Barbara saw the cat. Yeah, I
She's-
doubt that it's the earliest cat meme, Barbara, but it's an early one at least. I bet there's probably something older than that even. Just because cats.
I mean, there was, the Egyptians actually mummified cats.
Yeah, and they're in their imagery an awful lot.
There's I can't remember the year, but there's a pretty famous cat mummy that's in the, I think in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Is that what it's called?
Mhm.
Met, whatever that is. I think they have a statue of a cat that's from ancient Egypt, and on the inside was the mummified remains of a cat. So they definitely had a long relationship with human beings.
Yeah, definitely. And they still are only mildly domesticated, as I understand it.
Yeah, I was gonna say long and complicated
Yeah, that too.
relationship with human beings.
Speaking of cat memes, though, I like the one where they show images of cat footprints in like Roman concrete and like
Oh, yeah,
across
those are cool.
across a medieval page where it walked in the ink, and it's like, yeah, that just fits.
Especially now, like when you're on these Zoom calls
Yeah.
or Skype calls or whatever your meetups, whatever you're using.
I asked a
Probably.
colleague to edit something I was writing, and I walked away and came back and I saw a section highlighted and said cat, and it was all this garbled nonsense because my cat had come and slept on my keyboard.
Yep, they like to do that.
They
I've seen
do.
I've seen more people's cats than I have their children on these Zoom calls. So they get around. They get in the way. Definitely getting away. Barbara says it takes dogs a generation to become feral, but she believes cat takes only a few weeks or something. Wow. And she posted, that was in Leicester. I guess there was an animal prints like that. Were these the Roman? I guess assume these were maybe
I think
Roman.
that one was
period
Roman.
Leicester.
Concrete is a
Yes,
Roman
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, second or third century AD in Leicester, which is in England. Which you were there too.
Yeah.
Yes, of course you were. Yeah, we had our fox.
That was when they were finding Edward.
Yeah, the king
Which one?
under the parking lot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, and Barbara graduated from there too.
Oh, cool.
King Richard.
Yeah, I really
The third?
King Richard.
I want to say the third, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember which one, but yeah, that was good. It's a great conference.
It was.
Man, what I wouldn't give to do that.
To
again.
travel again.
Yeah, that was a good one. I really enjoyed England. It was the first time I had been to England,
Me too.
and I really liked it. People told me, like, someone told me, like, oh yeah, the food's not great, and then I got there, I was like, what are you talking about? This is
food's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was actually named because of the Arthurian legends. And so I grew
Oh,
up
really?
with knights and castles and things. That was my thing, and I ended up going early to that one and spending not quite a week in Warwick, which has a really cool kind of Disney-fied castle, but it's still a castle. And I was sick as a dog. I had horrible flu, and by golly, I got up and went
Yeah.
and saw the town anyway, because, oh man, it was great.
Yeah, it was good. I wasn't there as long as you were, but and I spent a couple days in London.
You got more time in
and
London than I did.
Oh man, I saw the tower, the London
Mhm.
Tower. That was a really great tour of that. And went to the British Museum, where I got to see some of the oldest artifacts in the world from Ur, which is in what's modern day Iraq, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, pretty much a little bit of everything there. Saw the Rosetta Stone, although it was like, a million people around it. So I kind of skipped that. I saw from afar, and then I saw the line to see it, and I was thinking, well, I've seen enough pictures of it.
Pirates again.
I don't need to get up too close to it. Okay, I think I've got this one covered. Yep, this is another. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, right. I wrote the right one down. It's a nun. Going back to the radial. Oh, I'm just going to really close ones this time for some reason. Time to go to another one. But I remember in Leicester, what made me think of that with the cat prints that were put in the concrete that in the 3rd century. The article that Barbara posted was, I remember walking down that Roman road because the hotel was about a mile away from where the conference was at. It's at the University of Leicester, and I remember it was like in January, and it must have been like 15 degrees outside or something. It was super cold, and I would. Every day I walked the mile to University of Leicester and then a mile back. But there was an old Roman road that you could, like the pathway of it, that you could still walk on. Mm-hmm. And so I took that every morning, at least a portion of it.
Yeah, me too.
Probably everybody does. Yeah. Like, I think I'm special. Like, oh, I took and it's just like a sidewalk that everybody uses. Yeah, Barbara said she did too.
Of course, we're a bunch of history nerds, so of course we did.
That's true. I mean, I could just taken the bus,
Right.
But I was determined to walk along that path.
It was a nice walk.
Also, one thing that's cool that I found, like, from geocaching, because it was at that conference that I gave a paper talking about how you could use geocaching and letterboxing and public archaeology to, like, highlight heritage for heritage tourism, basically. Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me before I was gonna, like, the day that I was gonna give that paper, that I wonder if there's any. And for people who don't know, geocaching, it's basically a game where people hide containers that have a little log in them and sometimes little trinkets, and they just hide them in like random places, and then they post the coordinates, the GPS coordinates to the container online, and people basically go onto this geocaching website and they're able to find the coordinates to see if they can find these containers. And so it's like just like a game that people play essentially. So, but it occurred to me like, hey, I wonder if there's any geocaches here in Leicester. Mm-hmm. Or letterboxing is very similar, except I don't think they don't use GPS coordinates. It's just like orienteering, it's using like maps and compasses and stuff like that. So anyways, I was like, well, I wonder if there's one near the University of Leicester. And so I looked and I found that there was one, and I walked to it, and it took me to this park, not far out, like I think it was just off the campus, but not far from the campus. And it took me to this big rock in the middle of this, park with all this grass and, hilly grass like you would think of, being in England. And this is rock with this fence around it, like this wrought iron fence around it. And I walked up to it, and then on the rock there was this bronze plaque, and it was a bronze plaque to the U.S. Army, who I guess they were stationed there during World War II, right before they invaded Normandy. So it was like it's one of the army units, I guess, was there at Leicester, preparing for the landing on D-Day. And so they actually had a monument to it. And that's how I found that, was through geocaching, was this monument. So I thought it was kind of neat that there was this monument to the Americans who came and took back Europe.
Yep. As far as like finding historic places, Pokemon Go is actually surprisingly good for that kind of thing too.
Is it really? Yeah.
A lot of their best places for for playing are parks, and a lot of times those parks are actually uh, historic or archaeological sites. So like Mission San Luis, when it first started and it was really big, they
I
actually had
remember
a
it was huge.
they
Yeah,
had a
it was
problem with
huge.
people breaking in at night to play the game in their in
Ugh.
so yeah, they were real popular. It
Mhm.
was funny.
Yeah, yeah, that thing really blew up for like a couple months,
It's
and
still
then just kind of is it still a thing? Because I have
very
not
much
heard.
so.
Is it?
It's definitely the craze has died down, but it's still going pretty strong as I understand it.
Hmm.
Oddly, or maybe a little disappointingly, they when COVID started happening, they actually changed it so you could play it indoors, and that was their best season yet. when
Oh
when,
wow,
they,
I
when
didn't
people
know
didn't
that.
actually have to go out and play the game,
Wow.
which is a little
Yeah, it kind of
sad.
defeats the whole purpose, I
Yeah, I
think.
mean it was a smart move on their part. I don't think it was meant to be permanent,
Right.
and I hope it's not. But who
Right.
knows?
I mean, what was really cool, and I played it a little. I never really got into it because
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon was a little bit after it got really
The same.
popular, kind of after I was the age where people really got into it. But so I played it a little bit, but I never really got into it too big. But yeah, it used to be. But it was really the first time. And one really good thing about it, other than it takes you to cool places, is that it was the first time like augmented reality became like more widely applied to something and used by users.
Mm-hmm.
Because it had been augmented reality has been around for a while, but
Ingress was game before it, and actually all the data for Pokemon was based off of the Ingress data.
oh, what was Ingress?
It was basically something to do with you. There's like a kind of cyberpunk thing where you are two factions striving for control of certain points, and so you go and hack each other's points and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, that sounds kind of cool.
Not very different from Pokemon in very surface level stuff, at least.
Okay, yeah. I want to say they tried something similar with like a Harry Potter game, but I'm not sure if it ever really
Yeah, I don't remember hearing
took
about that
off.
one.
Or maybe there were plans for it and it just never really took off, but I do remember something about that. All right, that's another none for me.
Yep. I've got some lovely. I like it when I don't like it when I'm given. You know how some planets hide behind other ones?
I hate that.
I like it when they're okay when they are like all in the same spot, but when they're like on opposite ends of the system, then I have to fly back and forth. That takes a lot of time.
No,
I've had a couple of those this time.
I haven't had too many. Just a few. Just a few.
Okay,
Well, we're coming up on our break almost.
just
our
about
10
what I
minute.
was to say. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll head back to our radio and land, and then we can take a break, and I'll leave you all with some of our videos, shorter videos from our YouTube channel to keep you entertained while we get some water and whatnot. Looks like your score is doing a lot better this time, Mike.
I know. I've been, you know what it is? It's because there's a lot closer ones and there's a lot more of them. It's a little bit easier to find. I think I just found another one that you haven't been to yet. Look at this. I think. This.
There are definitely plenty.
I think that's what this is called. 49. Yeah, that's within our area. Oh, wait, I should have put that up here. Let me change that. Oops. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Try that again.
Okay, so that's me landed. I'll make sure to mute the proper channel this time. And see you all in about 10 minutes.
Yep, we'll be back. Hey, I'm Mike with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, and today is not a great day for hiking. So instead, I thought what I would do is talk to you all about a really important part of hiking when you're out in public lands, and that is, what should you do if you come across an artifact? So the first thing we got to start with, what are public lands? Well, public lands are lands that all of us own, but that are managed by a state or federal entity. Parks, state forests, wildlife management areas, water management areas, all of those are state public lands. Federal public lands include things like national parks, national forests, national seashores, military reservations. Those are owned by the federal government. Those are all federal public lands. All these public lands, the archaeological sites and artifacts on them are all protected by both state and federal laws. So it's actually illegal to knowingly disturb or remove artifacts from any public land without having a permit. Public lands also include submerged bottomlands. So any body of water that's navigable, so creeks, rivers, lakes, the ocean out to a certain nautical miles, all of those are actually owned by the state and federal government, depending on how far out you are. So all the shipwrecks and all the artifacts out there, even in the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean to a certain extent out into the water, are actually owned and protected by those same laws. So the question is, what should you do? If you're out there hiking and you come across an artifact, what's the best thing that you can do? First, try to resist the urge to pick it up. So we want to leave it in place because, again, by removing it, you're actually breaking the law and you can get in trouble for that. And then also, when you start removing artifacts from archaeological sites, it removes a lot of the information that we can actually learn about a site. So it's important to keep it in place. If you have a smartphone, and most of us have smartphones today, the next thing that you should do is take a picture of it. And if you have something for scale, like whether it's a quarter or a dime, most cards in your wallet are pretty much the same standard size, so you can put one of those next to the artifact and take a picture of it to scale. The next thing you want to do after you take a picture is you want to make a mental note, or if you have something to write on or even on your phone, say where you found it at. You want to remember where you found it. Sometimes, especially if you're out hiking in the woods along a trail, you might want to look around at unique features, whether it's a unique looking tree, or maybe there's some a wayside sign nearby that you can help kind of remember where you found it. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to notify the land manager. So that's a really important part too, is just to let them know that you found something. Now, you may have actually come across a site that the land managers already know about, or you may have actually just discovered a new archaeological site that they didn't know about. But even if it is a site that they knew about before, the fact that you found some exposed artifacts might indicate that there's some erosion taking place. So that notifies the land manager so that they know that they should probably come and start monitoring the site. So those are just some quick, easy things that you can do that will keep you safe in terms of not violating the law, and also that will help protect the archaeology in place. So leave it in place, take a photo of it, make a note of where you found it, and notify the land manager. And remember, anytime you're hiking our wonderful public lands, to take only photos, leave only footprints, and I'll see you next time on Hike with Mike.
Although I guess, you know, in fairness, it is Lara Croft, like Tomb Raider, not Lara Croft, like ethical archaeologist.
They should make that game.
I don't know that game would have that. It would be like 1 out of 54 documents found, except instead of finding them at these like amazing, incredible sites, you would just be like in like a dingy archival building, like pouring through.
And the one document that you need is missing. You're like,
yeah.
no.
And the most important thing would be found in the last 5 minutes of the game, and then the game would be over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get to find out what it told you.
Like microfilm would be involved somehow, and you'd be like, how is this still a thing?
Yeah, the puzzle of the game is figuring out how the microfilm machine works. You have to go find the librarian somewhere. Like, I can't figure out how to use this. It's like 50 years old. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
The architecture compare with some of the sites that you've worked on here?
Oops, sorry, lady.
So rude.
So this is neat. The architecture, I think a lot of it is Inca inspired, like especially these walls, right? Like those are definitely Inca, because they did the very big blocks that are very uniform in that they fit very well, but because they are like Legos in a way, they are kind of different shapes. So that is very Inca. This would be probably more Maya. Again, it's like a very mixed mishmash of the three cultures. But something that's really neat is that they used anthropologists and archaeologists and linguists to develop this game. So the languages you're hearing are Quechua, which is the language of the Incas, or Nahuatl, which is the language of the Aztecs, or Yucatec or Mayapan, one of the Maya languages too.
Wow, that's incredible.
So the guy that's going machata, 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 that's definitely Quechua.
Cool.
Hey, I'm Mike with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, and I'm inside our Public Archaeology Lab here at our Coordinating Center in downtown Pensacola. And I'm here to reveal the identity of the artifact we posted on our Facebook page for our series called What Is It Wednesday. Now, if you guessed that the artifact was a rock called a gunflint, then you would be absolutely 100% correct. This is a gunflint. So these flints were used on a type of firearm called the flintlock. They were used from the 17th century all the way through to the 19th century. The way it would work is these flints were inserted into a firing mechanism called the gunlock. And basically what would happen is they would cock the firearm, and then when they pulled the trigger, this would be released, moving forward and striking a piece of steel, which would cause spark, which would then ignite the black powder inside the barrel of the firearm, propelling the projectile out of the barrel. If you want to learn more about different colonial artifacts, including colonial firearms, then this is a great book to do that. Hey, I'm Mike with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, and I'm inside our Destination Archaeology Resource Center to reveal the artifact that we posted for our series called What Is It Wednesday. If you guessed that the object that we posted was a shell, then you would be correct. But if you guessed that the artifact that we posted was a shell tool, then you get bonus points because that's exactly what this artifact is. Now, this shell is from a gastropod, which is a sea snail. So this is the shell of a sea snail. But the particular type of gastropod this is called a lightning whelk. This lightning whelk shell was actually modified into a tool. So the top part of it was actually knocked out, and then a stick handle was inserted through that hole, and then it was tied with some type of cordage to make a tool like a hammer. We know that native peoples often use shell to make all sorts of different types of tools for thousands of years. A good way to identify lightning whelks from other types of gastropods with these single valves, these single mouth openings, is the fact that lightning whelks are one of the only types of sea snails that has the opening on the left. Most other species of gastropods have the openings on the right side. A good resource to find more information about how Native Americans would have modified different shells into tools and jewelry in the state of Florida can be found on our website, and we'll put that link down below in the description of this video. We can, let's sail by the shipwreck. There are a number of shipwrecks in this game that you can actually dive on, and so I think maybe let's go out to sea for a little bit, and when we'll come back, we can actually dive on this wreck and see what we find on it.
So is that what the Pensacola wrecks look like right there?
I'm not going to say that they can't look like that, but they don't look like that. Also, that ship is like pointing straight down in the sand. Something very violent happened to that ship.
Well, it could have
Well,
been
this area is frequented by pirates. So
and sharks as big as this ship. So
yeah, before we started, I was gonna go
Actually,
check the
yeah.
shipwreck out to see if I could just see what was on it, and I was eaten by a shark.
This spot is really neat. These are very Ecuadorian actually, so I'm pretty excited that it's here. This is called a whistle double spouted pot. So what you do
Cool.
is that you put water on the opening right there on the right side, and then you tilt the whole thing and you pass the water from one side to the other, making air go through the beak, which is actually a whistle. So it actually makes a noise when
wow.
you.
Was there,
That's very
was
neat.
there a reason for doing that, or I mean, other than just it makes a cool sound? Was there any other?
It's supposed to make the sound of the animal that is representing and all that
Oh,
good
that's
stuff.
cool.
Okay.
But you see them in northern Peruvian cultures, you see them in very early Ecuadorian cultures as well. So it's neat to see that stuff here as well.
Now,
Yeah,
when you
this
say
is definitely northern Peru.
Hey, I'm Mike with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, and I'm back inside our Destination Archaeology Resource Center to reveal the artifact that we posted for our series called What Is It Wednesday. If you guessed that the artifact that we posted was a bottle, then you would be correct. But if you guessed the specific type of bottle we posted was called an onion bottle, then you get bonus points because that's exactly what that artifact was. Onion bottles like this were developed in the 17th and 18th century to store and ship wine and other types of spirits safely while they were being shipped on vessels during the Age of Sail. As you can imagine, transporting glass bottles during the colonial time period was really difficult because, of course, they had to do it all by shipping them on vessels that would then have to sail across these oceans. And of course, it could get pretty rough at sea sometimes. But this particular type of bottle, again called an onion bottle because of its base, its very wide base that kind of resembles an onion, they were a lot more rugged and were a lot better for transporting liquids on ships when they were being shipped across the ocean. Now, if you want to learn more about historic glass bottle artifacts, then I highly recommend going to the Society for Historical Archaeology's website, where they have tons of information about historic glass bottles and all the different things you can learn from the manufacturing techniques and different makers' marks and all sorts of stuff on there. And we'll post a link to that website in the description of this video below. Hey everyone, I'm Mike with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, and I'm back again inside our Destination Archaeology Resource Center to reveal the identity of the artifact that we posted for our series called What Is It Wednesday. And once again, we had a lot of really great guesses this week for our post, but if you said that the artifact was a piece of broken machinery, then you would be correct. That is exactly what this particular artifact is. Now, we don't know the exact type of machinery that this piece of broken fragment came from, but we do know the site where it came from. So this broken machinery came from the Arcadia Mill, and the Arcadia Mill site in Milton, Florida was the oldest industrial-powered water mill in Northwest Florida. So Arcadia Mill had a lot of different mills on site from 1817 to 1855, and this included everything from sawmills to lumber mills to grist mills to cotton textile mills. And this mill was all run using enslaved labor of people of African descent, both men and women who worked in these different mills over the many years in which it operated. For more information about the Arcadia Mill Archaeological site, I highly recommend that you go out and visit the site in Milton, Florida, where they have a visitor center with museum exhibits, as well as a wonderful boardwalk that goes through the property that has lots of different interpretive panels and waysides along the way. But of course, as always, be sure to go to their website and check their hours of operation before you go out there. And I will put a link to their website in the description of this video below.
All right. We are back. We are live. I'm gonna have to dock someone's pay for slacking on the job. Took too long of a break.
Took too long. Oh wait, I gotta turn the Twitch. I gotta turn the Twitch feed down because then I'm getting an echo. I'm getting yelled at twice. Who wants that?
That's a nightmare.
It is. Oh wait, what's going on? Oh, it's just a bounty. I don't care about that. All right. Well, here we are.
Well, your slacking allowed me an opportunity to upgrade my weapons, so next time
Oh, that's
those
good.
pirates had better watch out.
That's true. Yeah, I got a bounty here if you want to test them out.
Nah.
No, maybe some other time.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm busy scanning, so I got some work to make up here. And I think it's time for. I wish I had theme music.
We should do this. I think I can get that working. So let's add it to our
Theme
list for
music?
next week. Yeah. We'll have an intro and everything.
I like
maybe.
it. I like it. Cool. So, as I have done for almost all of these now, can't remember when we started doing it, but I figured out early on in this game that I could rename my spacecraft, and so each new session I name my spacecraft after a spaceship in a piece of sci-fi. So whether it's a movie or a book or a comic, I think I've almost all of them, or all of them at this point, have all been movies so far. So I have named my ship after a sci-fi movie, renamed it, and so the idea is that for people who want to participate on the Twitch chat, if you want to try to guess which movie it is from, you are welcome to do that. We encourage it, and you don't get any prize if you win, but you also don't get penalized either. So there's nothing to lose, really.
And if you
So
don't
I-
speak up, then we have to hear me say I don't know what it is.
And then I shame Tristan for not
Yes.
seeing this movie that he should have seen. Okay, so I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I may not be. The name of my spacecraft during this session of No Man's Sky Archaeological Survey is Cepheus. I think that's how you say it.
Say it again.
Cepheus.
Cepheus?
Well, let me spell it because
If you say it wrong, then it doesn't count.
Okay, it's Cepheus. Cephas.
Could be Cephas.
Cephas. Something
know.
like that.
Yeah. I have
So
not a clue.
it's-
I just say it right now.
Okay. That's all right.
Give it a few minutes, maybe. I think Barbara's on a call.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if any of the other people joining us, if you're real,
Or if you're not,
or if not,
bots can
Just-
guess too.
let us know. I will be super impressed if someone knows this. I won't be as impressed if you have to look it up, but that's okay.
But you don't have
You
to
can
tell
still-
us you did. So we'll be impressed if you just
That's true.
tell us you didn't have to look it up.
Although I can tell that if someone doesn't answer right away, that they probably are looking it up. And I actually have seen this movie. Two really good actors in it. Well, I mean, there's many more than two really good actors in it. There's several good actors in it, but two pretty well-known actors are in this movie. They came out not too long ago. I'll have to see when it came out. I'm not seeing here. Let me check the Twitch. I don't
don't
see
s-
any guesses. I
don't
don't
either.
see any guesses. That's all right. So Tristan, you basically you don't know.
I have no clue.
There's no clue. No clue whatsoever. All right, well, I'll give you another hint. This movie came out last year. Believe it or not, just came out last year. I was trying to think when it came out. I'll even name probably one of the most well-known actors from this film. Brad Pitt stars in it.
No,
Okay.
that's too
Nothing.
old.
Nothing. Nope.
Nope.
Okay, is this so? The name of this fictional spacecraft, Cepheus, is from the movie Ad Astra, starring, of course, Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones, Liv Tyler, and Donald Sutherland. Came out, yeah, just last year. Pretty good movie. And
Yep.
the name of the ship. This is the ship that the character. Brad Pitt's character in this movie is his. I guess his father had gone on a mission to, I think, Neptune or something, one of the planets way out there, and they like disappeared, never heard back from him, and so he takes Brad Pitt's character takes. I think they get like a signal from the ship or something. And he thinks his dad might be alive, so they select him to go check it out and see if he's still alive, and see if they can continue on with the mission. And the name of the ship that Brad Pitt's character takes to the planet Neptune is Cepheus, which is named after a constellation in the sky, in the northern sky, which is named after a Greek god.
All right.
So, have you seen that movie, Tristan?
Nope, haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's a good movie overall.
Yeah.
Not not my favorite sci-fi movie, but certainly pretty well done.
Fit the bill.
Fit the bill. Lots of good special effects, or not special effects, but computer animated, whatever they call it now, CIG, CGI. Sorry, CGI, and some really good acting. Tommy Lee Jones is an excellent actor. So is Brad Pitt. Obviously, Donald Sutherland is a legend. But that's the name of it, and but that's where they got its name from, is this Greek god. And let me look up a little bit more information about. One thing I've been doing, and I think I talked about this last time, is I got this cool app where you can go outside at night and it'll basically tell you what stars you're looking at. You can open it up on your phone, and then through the camera, you just you align it with whatever star you see in the sky, and it'll tell you exactly what star it is and how far away it is. Some cases planets too, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I guess this is Cepheus is a constellation in the northern sky, like I said, named after Cepheus. Actually, I can see how you pronounce it. How do you actually pronounce it? Oh, I totally mispronounced it. Totally. It's actually Cepheus with a K sound.
Okay.
So that's probably why people didn't even try to guess, because I was pronouncing it correctly. Which
I'm sure that's why.
It's not the first time I mispronounced something, that's for sure. Okay, so Cepheus was the king of, I don't even know how to say that. He was a king, I guess, in some region of ancient Greece. In Greece, he was married to Cepheia, and was the father of Andromeda, both of whom are immortalized as modern-day constellation along with Cepheus. Yeah, I know about the Andromeda. I've heard of that before. So I guess this would be his father. Oh, actually, this is interesting. I'm wrong. This place that this guy was king, is actually what's now modern-day Ethiopia.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I was wrong. I thought it was somewhere in Greece, but it's not. Anyways, there's your information.
There's our story. So,
What's your story?
Ad Astra, a cool recommend. Not a strong one, but definitely at least a recommend.
Yeah, I would recommend watching it. It's not. So I remember people saying it was like the best movie. Same thing with like Interstellar, though. Like I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was the best sci-fi movie ever.
Yeah. I liked it because it was more pure sci-fi than you typically get. Whereas, it's usually like aliens eating people or something. And this was more about science fiction. And
Yeah, it was
I don't know
definitely-
about Ad Astra though.
It definitely, it was more along the, action kind of film.
Yeah. And to be clear, I like the aliens eating people ones too. Just you don't get as many of the ones that involve plots other than that. So I always appreciate the ones that do that. Of course, about the same time of Interstellar was the what was the one where what's her bucket was trapped on the space station and
Oh, Gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah.
I never watched
Sandra-
that one.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where it's not a bad movie. And then who's the other guy? Real famous actor. George Clooney, I think, was in that. Yeah, George Clooney was in that one. Yeah, I did see that one. And you're right. I think they did come around the same time.
Approximate, yeah.
I think I've looked at all the systems here. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should be 6. Let's see here. I think that's all of them. Yeah, that's it. I got all of them. And that's a big none. Oh, wait, did I? Okay. There we go. Got it. Traveling back. How many are we? Let's see here. How many systems we're up to? 400 and almost 440. now.
Yep. We're moving along at a pretty good clip. Proportionately, though, we've hardly scratched the surface still. That's why we do sampling.
Sorry, what's that?
Proportionally, we've hardly scratched the surface, but that's why we do sampling. Why we don't
Yeah.
actually, even in physical world archaeology, we don't record or test every single inch. Because it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of holes. A lot of holes. A lot of planets. So what do you think would be a good statistical sample for this game?
Statistics is not my strongest suit.
Yeah, it's not mine either.
And all that depends on the questions you're asking too. And I mean, right now, I guess we're getting a statistical sample for how sparse the population is in this game as far as habitation sites. And I think we may find it's denser as we get closer to the middle, which would be interesting if that's the case. But there's going to be a fairly wide range of error no matter what we do in this case.
So what you're saying is there's no end in sight.
So what I'm saying is I don't want to do the math right now.
And that.
And if I was to do the math, I'd have to revisit how to do that kind of stuff because it's been a while since I've had to calculate it.
Yeah. All right. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where are we? Is this real? All right. You have to see if I can see how far we are from the core. Oh, what's this? This seems like nice type of stone here. It's a cold, dark, lonely world out here. Earth system.
Yeah, in space. Although we say
Oh, did
that,
you see? Did you see that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you see? I think it was earlier this week when NASA landed a. I guess they had they're orbiting this asteroid, and they landed it and took a sample from it.
Brief headlines of it. I don't know any details.
Yeah.
Other than the headline was basically the first attempt was messy and they loved it. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
For whatever. the
Yeah,
headline
same
is.
thing. I thought that I'd seen something that said it was going to be live, but then I don't think it was. I don't think they actually got footage from it or something, or it wasn't live. Maybe I can. And for some reason, like it wasn't going to return until 2023 or something like that to Earth, where they could really do some more intensive analysis of it. But anyway, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was neat about it too is that the some of the scans that they had done of it showed that it was just full of boulders. It was just packed full of boulders, and I guess that what made it really challenging because they needed to land in a very specific spot where they could actually get a scoop of this more finely grained minerals on it to actually do testing on.
Yeah, I know it was it last year or 2 years ago that Japan did a somewhat similar mission on other. Wait, I think that was on a comet. Now I'm not sure. It's been too long.
Oh, cool. Here's an article from the New York Times. Oh man, they actually got footage of them landing on it. That is so cool. Yeah. It says, there's a quote. This is the headline. It says, "Literally, we crushed it. Video shows NASA space probe touch an asteroid. The spacecraft succeeded in pogo sticking off the space rock, hinting that it may have been able to capture a large sample to bring back to Earth." So I guess they just like touched it and then popped right back off of it. But there's actually video of it. This is so cool. Whoa. Yeah, it like hits it and then it pops right back up.
I'll have to watch it.
Man, this is so cool. Yeah, this is an article again in the New York Times from a couple days ago. It says, when NASA's Sirius-REx spacecraft touched the surface of an asteroid on Tuesday to gather a sample of rocks and dirt, the operation proceeded smoothly to the glee of the mission's operators 200 million miles away on Earth. But the biggest question remained unanswered. How much of the asteroid did Sirius-REx pick up? Did it manage to gather any samples at all? And it says, on Wednesday, the mission managers released a video of the sampling, and this is the one that you can see on New York Times. I'm sure NASA actually has a really good YouTube channel, too, where a lot of their videos go, or their video content ends up. Within 3 feet or so of where the spacecraft had aimed. That's crazy. It says, quote, this is the principal investigator. Oh, wow, I didn't know they had principal investigators on NASA stuff, too. Dante Loretta is quoted as saying, "I must have watched about 100 times last night," said during the noon conference. Says, quote, "But literally we crushed it. When the spacecraft made contact, that rock appears to fragment and shatter, which is great news. A burst of nitrogen gas kicked up a cloud of rocks and dirt as hoped." Says, quote, "You can see the particles are flying all over the place. We really did kind of make a mess on the surface of the asteroid, but it's a good mess."
Yeah, cool.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, they just like, it's so cool. So they like orbited it and then they went in, popped, grabbed the sample, and they jumped right back off. Pretty neat.
Easier than trying to land on it like they did with the Japanese probe. I think that didn't work out as well for them.
Yeah.
They still got some good stuff out of it, but I guess it was so loose and the gravity was so light that they really had trouble getting it to work. And then they lost feed for a while, and they got feedback, and I think it was on its side or something. Again, I'd have to look, but that was pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so neat.
Space is neat.
It is. The final frontier.
Huh.
I'm gonna. Oh, okay, they've got. I'm gonna post the NASA video. It's so cool. I can see why he watched this over and over again. That's super impressive that they were able to do it in such a small area. I mean, I know when I'm flying around these planets, pretty tricky to land sometimes.
I'm that accurate. Not at all. Everyone can see me flying, and they know that's a lie.
I know. All right. I think I got all the planets in this system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Care to guess what I found?
A base?
No,
Oh,
nothing. All right, where am I? Going back. Empty-handed.
not empty-handed.
Not empty. You're right.
Negative data is still data. Even
But
though it
I
makes
did
us
not-
sad.
But I did not come back with a sample.
No, no, you could.
Didn't come back with one. Oh wow.
There it is.
What can you do?
Another system.
Another system. And
Get
another.
more data.
And another and another. We are up to, oh man, we're almost at 450.
We're getting there.
Or, you know, I guess
We're
Not-
9
not
off.
9 off. Well, we could probably, if I get my stuff together, I might be able to get that. I don't know.
Possible. Depends on how big the systems are too.
Yeah. Oh, that's too far. This is where it gets tricky. Did you come here before already? Yes. Wait, maybe you didn't come to this one. Wait. Oh wait, I think you did. Oh, yeah, you did. All right, next one. Rudmadu. Did you do that one? Type it in. Rud.
Yes, I see
You
it.
did. Yep. Ep liver. Did you try that one? Ep. Yep. Man. Yep, you got that one too. Man. I think I found one you didn't find yet. Just gonna
Imagine
go
there's
to
one
it.
or two.
Whoops. Whoops. Entered my initials in the wrong one. Oh, let's do it again. Taking credit for your work.
Well, I'm distracted with the pirates. Low blow.
They will do that.
You hired them, didn't you?
You know, they were coming after my crate of jewels. And I told them
I thought it was
that you have
tools.
it. Oh yeah, it's tools. Tools, that's what I mean. That's the ticket. not jewels. Oh yeah. I'm watching your Twitch feed, and I'm impressed with that shotgun blast you
It
have.
does work,
Wow.
and it's
Nice.
not. If I get it upgraded further, it should make this a whole lot easier.
Has it got the same range on it?
No, it's
That
shorter range.
Oh.
But if they're fairly close, and you get a concentrated blast, it'll bring them down a lot faster.
Yeah. Those will not be the happiest pirates.
There. Now, I have to figure out which ones I've mapped already again.
Nope. Nope.
Yep, that's all.
Got a bunch of Heidi planets. Planets behind planets. Oh, this one's far. Jeez. Man. Okay, finally. Jeez. All for nothing.
It's like
All
space
right.
is big.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
Looks like this is maybe did that one. I think that's it. Yep. That's it. Yeah. That's nothing. Zero zilch. None. Back to the drawing board.
So I've been working with, I think I told you I've been working with Andres on the Minecraft site of the site he discovered in Ecuador and has been working on for his PhD. And one thing he's managed I thought is really cool is he found a program where he can just plug in the topography map of his the area he wants to represent in Minecraft, and then the program will actually recreate that topography on a 1-to-1 scale. And he's made the point that we could potentially do this with Florida sites as well. And I thought that's a cool idea. So I'll kind of keep an eye on how this goes, and maybe we can use this as kind of a test to see if this is something we want to pursue and put time in on our own as well. Because I can think of a lot of sites we could do in different ways that could be a lot of fun.
Could you use like scans from the LiDAR or from the laser scanner to do that?
You know, there's something about bringing in 3D models and stuff. So maybe, I don't know. Actually, that's an interesting idea. So could you recreate...
Trademark.
Yeah. Could you recreate a mound you scanned, for example? And then you'd have to think about what scale. If you do it to 1-to-1 scale, it probably wouldn't look all that impressive, because you know the blocks are kind of basically a meter by meter size, and so that's a good size if you're trying to do detail. Unless you wanted to like recreate the mound on a different scale, then that could be kind of cool too. So I don't know, but there's a lot of possibilities there that we might pursue, and we can look into maybe streaming some of that work if we ever do it as well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth seeing what at least Andreas has built.
It's really cool.
So what's his? Does he have like a plan with it outside of just seeing if it can be done?
He wants to use it as an interpretive tool to talk to people, the kids in Ecuador, about the site and the culture and things. And I think that's a noble and a great idea, and so I'm working with him on developing some of that, and we'll probably, just because it'll be basically done, we'll probably do an English version at some point as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, so it's all what he's doing right now is all Spanish. In Spanish.
Well, he's doing it for an Ecuadorian audience, so
Right,
he would
so-
want to do it in Spanish, I presume.
So, gotcha. So this is like so he would be talking, kind of giving a tour of the site, or is there like interpretive signage?
You could, so there's signage you can put out. You can actually do books as well. You can kind of program non-player characters to just like stand in one spot and give text information, or you can actually, as people walk, you can have text pop up in the kind of the chat box on the bottom left side. So there's a lot of different ways you can communicate information. There's people who basically do these adventure maps, and they're all puzzle based and everything, and I don't know exactly what ours is going to look like when we get around to it, but we'll see what happens. I'm intrigued by the idea. I think there's a lot of potential. The programming of the mobs and things doesn't look quite as scary as I would have thought either, because I'm not a programmer. But basically, people have set up websites where you can visually put in different parameters for a certain creature or something, and then it just spits out the code that you need, and you just plug it in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with that, because I don't know if we'll do it on as big a scale as he is, because this is a lot of work.
Yeah,
But,
I imagine so. So how does the map, the topographic map, work with this? Do you know?
How do you mean?
I mean, how does he take the topographic map and then put it into?
He's
Minecraft?
found some program that does it for him.
Oh, it just does it. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't take any real work from his part. Then he can, like, he's painted in a river himself, and then he can populate the river like a certain type of material around for the banks of the river, and say that's all got bamboo growing on it. So it just automatically pulls in all the bamboo, and like this area is all dense forest, and boom, dense forest happens, and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. I got a triple sun system here.
Oh, cool.
A trinary, I suppose.
Huh.
But no sign of life.
No sign. Yeah, same here. I think this is all of them that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's right. 5. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Nope.
There we go. I'm using a touch screen on my laptop, which is great a lot of the time, and then sometimes I miss a text box I'm trying to select.
Oh, for the
For the
keeping track
data,
of stuff.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm using just a old-fashioned laptop, MacBook, not touchscreen. We've gotten through most of this system, I think.
I think we're close. I found one.
System, not
One
Right.
system left, at least.
okay. All right. Let's see here. I think I've looked at most of these already. And I think you've gotten most of them. Filmation. Have you done that one yet?
Have to type it in to know.
Yeah, yep. Looks like it. Although I don't see where it is. On this. Huh. That's weird. I mean, it must be on there. Popped up. But why don't I see it above in this system?
Which one is it?
Oh, wait, I see it now. Okay. I see it. I thought, uh-oh, that's not good.
Huh. Corrupted data.
Too far, too far. IV guide. Did we do that one? Yep. By we, I mean you.
Someone did.
Someone did. It wasn't me. Yeah, I'm not seeing any others. Yep.
Okay, should I move on to the next one?
Oh, yeah, I'm not. Oh, wait. Maybe this one hasn't been. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably should move on. Looks like we've exhausted this.
No, I just found one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
It might be one that I can't get to. There's still some that I can't get to.
Archaeological.
A Dudigill.
I'm just checking because I'm not sure it's always popping up and telling me something's been entered previously. But I don't see it. Wait, what happened to our...
What happened to our what?
We lost an entire column
What?
in our data.
Where?
There used to be a radial column and it's gone.
Wait a minute. Wasn't me.
Hmm.
Well, let's see here. I think. Oh. I don't think I did it. Can you just go back?
We'll lose
Well,
all the
we would
data we've lost done in the meantime.
Okay. Well, let's find out what the system we started from was.
Here to go. Or nut something.
So it should be So it should be up here then, right? Right next to it.
Yeah, I can. But that's the galaxy column. What is this thing? Our data is gone as well. All the dates are gone.
What? Are you just pressing back now?
No, I don't want to do that now.
Yeah, I just saw some stuff pop back up.
What?
I think I saw some
But you're
on my
when you're
end.
doing that, you're deleting.
No, I'm not pressing back on anything. I'm just saying that when I just saw something pop up, but maybe it's because I moved the slider down. I haven't pushed back at all.
You haven't done a Control Z or anything?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. So our
No, the
dates
only-
are still there. It got renamed somehow. The big problem is, well, it's not the end of the world, but it's a pain.
Yeah.
The missing radial markers.
How did that happen?
Let's
Yeah, I
leave it
don't
for
s-
now, and I'll try,
Yeah.
and I'll see if I can. I'll save
Hey.
what we've done in a separate one, and then try to do undo
Okay.
and see if I can bring it back.
Okay. That's not good. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, how could that have happened? I mean, wouldn't you have to highlight the whole thing and press delete, or
I would
maybe
have thought
just
so.
yeah. Looking up now. Wait a minute. Radial log.
Yeah, that'll save us, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. Radial log. Yeah, okay. What a pain in the ass, but we
Yeah.
should figure out how that happened. Because, I mean, the only thing I could think of is maybe trying to type in the initials for some reason. Maybe it went to the wrong column.
Mm.
But why
I
would
don't
it delete everything?
Right. I don't know why it would delete a whole column still.
Huh. Okay, well, yeah, let's maybe try that. Save it, and then just once we know we have like a copy of it somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
just press, undo until they all pop back up. And at least we can have that filled in. What a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have done that just because.
I don't know how either of us would have done
Yeah,
that.
I don't.
so,
I just
mean,
don't
we
understand how
must
it could
have, but
happen.
I don't.
Right.
It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. Well, yeah, I haven't pressed back on anything or undo or
Okay.
anything, so it should be right where we left it.
All right. Let's do one last check.
One last.
Make sure there's no more remaining, and then we'll call it a day.
Yeah, it's about that. Good way to end it on a.
Yeah.
on a
Oh gosh, our
negative
data. No, yeah.
note.
Cram and Illy.
It's an imperfect world.
Yeah, I'll say.
Oh, bummer. But yeah, I think we'll be okay because we have that other one listed.
Right. And I recorded each radial as its own. I recorded in the radial and then as a system we scanned. So it should just be a matter of finding the ones with the same name and then adding that column back in if that comes to worse.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking around and I think we got it.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
All right.
Thing
I'm
new.
gonna bring me into land and we'll call it a day.
Call it a day. Yeah, and hopefully we figure out
Thanks everyone who tuned
data.
in. We will continue our survey next Friday, assuming we don't have some problems like hurricane again or something like that. And I'll let you know how the data saga developed, basically. You can catch these videos uploaded on YouTube, so you can see where we've been and what we've covered and what we've talked about before. We also have our Archaeology Arcade we are doing weekly right now that brings in a guest archaeologist from a variety of backgrounds talking about a game and using it as a framework to talk about archaeology and history. So that is also on our YouTube channel, and I recommend them. And I think that's about covers it. So we'll see you all next time.